Okay, roll call. Let me see how Constance.
Present. She cut herself off.
It looks like she dropped.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you still take the roll, and she'll probably jump back on.
Okay. Up here.
It's here.
Back.
She's connecting.
Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button.
Okay.
Okay. Constance Graves,
Present.
Larry Malden,
Here.
Kashana Owens Cody,
Here.
Adrian Smith Kissy,
Present.
Nick Maza.
Present.
Okay, Naseem Ramdami,
Here.
Sam Pretty,
Yes.
and I'm sorry, Sam Mather and Pretty Mather.
Present.
Professor Weiss,
I'm here.
Marissa Zanfrandino,
Hi, I'm here.
and Dr. Lisa Hanley.
Here.
Okay.
So if I could suggest, just because, to keep up with the time, we have Dr. Hanley's report. Kashan, if you could give her screen sharing capability, then she could bring up her chart analysis and explain her findings to you.
Yep. Screen sharing is on.
Okay.
Let me find the okay. Now. Screen share. Okay. So what I've done is, you'll remember that last week, I think it was, maybe the week before, we talked about the current plan, and you had 4 other plans before you, Plan A, B, C, and D. And what I did was an effectiveness analysis in which I attempted to predict how many of the districts that were drawn would be likely to elect the Black preferred candidate. So I took that same methodology and I applied it to 3 new plans. And these plans, you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. There's a Dahl, this is a Lars Dahl plan submitted, dated May 30th. Another one dated June 14th, and then a plan that was labeled Gwen Pope. So these are the 3 additional plans that I looked at. And Marie has this printout, but basically, what you now have are what I would consider 2 plans that are as good as Plan C, and that would be the June Dahl submission and the Gwen Pope submission. Because all 3 of those plans offer 5 districts that are likely to elect, plus some additional districts that could possibly elect. And we can go through each of these in more detail, but I just wanted to give you the summary and see if you wanted to ask questions.
So my question is, what are the likelihoods in the June 14th Lars Dahl plan and the Gwen Pope plan, how many districts are most likely to elect the Black preferred candidate, and how many districts are likely to additionally elect Black preferred candidates? And do these additional plans incorporate the Hispanic population as voters within the districts, even though their effectiveness might not be known?
Shoot, it looks like it's the May doll plan, not the June doll plan.
Oh, so it's the May. Oh, that's what I had. There, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I put the
Well,
numbers down wrong.
Okay, so May 30 is the one that you say is as good as
Yeah,
C.
sorry about that. Yeah, I just
Okay.
see. This is 5, this is only 4, so I've gotten it backwards.
Okay.
And I should probably change this, but I won't do it right now. I'll get
So-
you an updated copy.
So for the
Okay.
purposes of focus, are we looking at doll June 14 or doll May 30th on the chart you've given us?
May 30th. What's wrong is right here. These numbers this has been reversed. This should be June, this should be May.
Got you.
Now, there are, what I did with each of these is count up the likely to be elected and the less likely to be elected districts. But there are some summaries here that might be of interest to you as well. In order to be a strong district, you had to be able to elect both candidates of choice in the 2 elections we looked at. To be to be labeled weak, you had to do worse than any of the 5 districts that currently elect. So this means that you've got 0 wins and you score less than a 0.4. But there's also, I also produced an average score. And the districting plan that scores the absolute best on that is the Gwen Pope plan by far.
The one that's absolute best on likely to elect?
No, they're all
Oh.
likely to, the 3 that I'm talking about are all likely to elect 5 and an additional possible 2. So they all are equal in that sense. However, if you wanted to pick one that was the best, I'm looking at this column called the average score.
Okay.
And the average score for the Gwen Pope plan is the best.
Okay, right. You talked about the average score last go round.
This is just the percentage of the vote that
Right.
the Black preferred candidate would get in each of these districts. And then this is the average of those 7 scores.
Okay.
And just to be clear again, which is the better Laura's doll plan? Looking at your
Let
chart
me
here.
go back and
May 30.
Yeah, but it's the May 30th plan.
But that has a score of average of 392, whereas the
Right,
June
Jeff, don't do it first.
Yeah.
First thing you need to do is see how many are likely to elect and just compare those. Do not compare the average score without determining first how many are likely to elect. That's why if I had to say, okay, these plans are about equal because they had each 5 solid districts and 2 likely to. That's how I'm going to narrow it first. And then if I had to pick among those, I would look at the average score. Don't look at the average score because the average score for a plan 4 could be just as good as an average score for a plan 5. So don't do that. Look at this first and then to compare them. Do you see what I'm sorry if I'm not very clear, but if you had a 6 district plan, of course, I'm averaging across 6 districts, not 7. So it might be higher, but you've got less districts. So that's only a tool to use if you have an equivalent number of districts.
Okay, got you.
So this is narrowing down by the numbers to Plan C or one of the doll plans or the Pope plan.
That's, that's just on the basis of effectiveness. That does not consider, again, I'm only looking at effectiveness of the minority preferred districts. I'm not looking at how compact they are. I'm not looking at communities of interest. Those are also criteria that you'd want to consider.
So let's ask Arkbridge, of these three plans, which keeps communities the most together? Is there a way you can tell us that?
Yeah. What we would have to do, Jeff, is to go back and do a neighborhood split analysis and a municipal split analysis that would give us a better idea of which plan is splitting the least number of neighborhoods.
Right, and that might address some of the comments that we've heard either in writing or at the hearing 2 days ago. So I suggest that that you begin to narrow down the consideration to the Pope plan, the doll plan, and Plan C, and then add to a comparison chart the communities of interest, the neighborhoods that are kept together, and also the compactness. I trust they're all contiguous, obviously. So we'd want to look at the population deviation, the compactness, and the communities of interest, along with the the minority electability. So those 4 factors, and if that could be done in a chart just to compare, then I think you can then make your next steps to making a decision on which plan you want to submit to the ACRC.
So we're talking about having that for all of them, not just the last 3.
You want this for all the 3 plans that Dr. Hanley thinks are the most effective will satisfy the second state criteria and also the concerns from the 2015 Pope case on ensuring that we have the most effective maximum number of minority districts, which would include 7. The other plans don't at all show the possibility of 7 districts. And I think that falls short of what the court expected and what the public has been asking for.
So you're talking about Plan A, Plan C.
Dr. Hanley, can you scroll down a little bit, please?
Yes. The reason I'm not is because May and June, the doll May and June are reversed. So I'm a little bit concerned about showing those, but
So Plan A, Plan C, the June doll map and the Pope map.
No.
Not the June.
The May doll, she got the numbers.
Got the numbers reversed.
Right, so it should be the May
May
doll.
30.
that's correct.
Pope plan.
Oh, the numbers are in the wrong place.
Right. And she said that the May 30 doll map and the Pope map are as good as Plan C
In terms of effectiveness.
in terms of effectiveness.
Mhm.
Both of those plans offer 5 districts that are likely to elect, plus they offer 2 additional districts that could possibly elect. So they're not as solid. It's not a solid 7, but it's 5 with another 2. But Plan A doesn't offer that. Plan B and Plan D offer only 4 districts that are likely to elect, and then 2 or 3 others. So
Which
my
would be
focus
illegal.
would be Pardon?
What?
which would probably run afoul of the law, but 4 districts.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
why I'm just
Well, that,
suggesting we
you would be literally decreasing the number of
Right.
Right.
likely
That's
to elect. You
why,
don't wanna do that.
that's why I'm suggesting you begin the winnowing process and compare the, the 3 best plans with other criteria so that you could then make your next determination and eventually soon send a recommendation to the county commission.
I think that that's a good idea, Jeff. I mean, I think that some of these you could just jettison and just concentrate. Let's try and narrow this
Right.
down a little bit and just look
Right.
at the 3 best and then make the decision.
Yeah, so it's the
Based on
3 best
those.
plan. So it would be the 3 best plans based on population equality, minority voting strength and effectiveness, compactness, and communities of interest that are kept whole. So if Arkbridge can prepare a chart that would show us their scores, or the least community split, or whatever format you think best to tell us how communities are addressed in these 3 plan versions, I think you'll have a holistic view of each of these, and then begin to make your final decision.
I say that, Plan A and Plan C that we created are probably the best that we can see here. And the other 2 plans from the public are pretty similar to C. Is that my assessment correct?
You mean the Dole May plan and the Gwen Pope plan?
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you can tell us of those 3 plans which represent the communities as best as we know them, and from what the public is asking, I think it just leads to the decision making being much easier.
Yeah, we can do that analysis.
We can do that.
Okay.
I will correct this, and I will I'll correct this portion here. Shade the 3 that score the best, and I'll send the corrected version to Marie, and if it's all right, I'll just send it directly also to Arkbridge to
and to me and to Jeff.
That's fine. That's fine.
So
I would like to see the numbers for Plan A as well in the comparison data that you're putting together, Arkbridge.
Sure.
The problem with Plan A is there's only 5 and no possible additional districts. You see, Plan A has 5 likely to elect and no possible districts, while, for example, Plan C has 5 likely to elect plus 2 possible districts.
Okay, yeah, I see that, but in terms of the data that we're going to be looking at, I would like to see it for Plan A as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, Marie, we can do that.
In terms of also the testimony that we got in the last hearing.
Well, we are making a lot of progress now. And I think that these plans are also going to be responsive to the public comment. Clearly, we can create 5 likely and 2 opportunity, totaling 7 districts. We can keep communities together. We can keep the population deviation low, and hopefully, as a result of one of the plans, keep the compactness, low as well.
I just have one question, and that is that all these plans, from what I can remember, go into Manans, and how much are we going to weigh on the testimony that we got the other day, especially from the county representatives?
Well, it's important that we follow the state criteria, and that includes population equality, which should not be a problem. But the second priority is minority voting rights. Then we have compactness and contiguity, and then the splitting of localities is a lower criteria. The only one that really need to be mindful of is whether Manans, if it's a village, I forget, I'm sorry.
It is.
does Manans make up by itself at least one county council district? If it's less than 40%, then you can split it. But if it is greater than 40%, and you shouldn't split it, the priority is to create the minority district over not splitting a municipality. And this goes strictly by the law. And Manans will push back on it, but this is where we still have breathing room that the commission has to consider it, and then the county legislature has to consider it. If the county legislature, rejects the plan because it splits Manans but creates more minority districts, we'll have to deal with it then.
So, there's another piece of data that we need, and I think this goes back to a point that Kashana made in the last meeting about the number of minorities in a current district that would lose representation as a result of any map that we draw.
Yeah, Marie, we will provide that and we will have it ready for the next meeting.
So you're gonna do that for each of these 4 plans?
We can do that if,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have questions or concerns?
I'm supportive of doing the analysis, and when we get that, we'll consider the 4 districts.
Larry, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, maybe I missed it, but have we cut off the acceptance of new maps? Have
Yes.
we?
Yes,
Okay, so these are the maps. We don't have to worry about anybody submitting any new maps.
it was midnight of the
It's 30th.
The day
of the
hearing. The day of our hearing.
Right, that's what I thought. I thought that's what it was, but I wanted to go on record and be sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Hanley.
Yes.
I'll correct this and send it to you shortly.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
have a good day.
Bye-bye now.
You too.
Have
Bye.
a
nice holiday.
Mhm.
So Marie, we have to leave now. If there's anything else you want from us?
So
I
before you,
I don't think so. Does anybody else have anything for Arkbridge?
No.
just a question,
No.
Jeff, just a question. Sam, do you think you'll have your material available when this committee meets again on Wednesday?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That
have
was
a
my,
good day
that
and
was
a
my
good
question
weekend.
too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy
All right,
the holiday.
Yeah, just make sure that we get Dr. Handley's report. Yeah.
Yeah, she said
Right.
she's gonna send it directly to y'all too, but I'll check.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Everyone have a wonderful
Thank
July
you.
4th.
Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
now.
So long.
Yeah, this is Jeff. I'll stay on.
So, let me see, the survey. I asked, Nicole to send the survey to see if the survey could go to the county legislatures and they could send it out to their constituents. It did go to them. So, Tashana, you probably haven't had a chance yet, but if we could look and see if there's any, I guess, increased responses.
Nope, I can share. I shared a link with everyone, but I can share my screen too. There was an increase. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Donna.
Marie, when did it go? When did it go to the legislators?
It had to be like Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
And that's actually around the time we started getting more
Okay.
responses. So here's where we have 46, I think we're at 46 responses now. This is where it's all coming from. So Colony, Latham, Bethlehem, Selkirk, Hilltowns. We have a few from Arbor Hill. But majority of these are not coming from our MMDs.
Mm-hmm.
So this needs to be
Right.
like it's very low numbers compared to.
Right.
So this is where our responses are coming from.
Okay, so we still need to promote the survey.
Yep.
I don't think I have a copy of the survey. Can somebody please send me a copy of it?
Sure, I can do that.
Thank you.
And just to show you where the uptick started, like, so around Monday, yeah, Monday, that's when we got 26 responses.
Yes.
So I did provide a link that I made it that you all can see the results in real time. So in each of I sent it to just the commission, but I can send that broader as well, but you'll be able to look at the data in real time.
Okay, that's great. So any ideas, suggestions for how we can better promote the survey in the MMD areas?
Wasn't there, were we looking at the possibility of targeting by zip code?
A Facebook ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got feedback from Warren in that Facebook page that he set up. It doesn't appear like it really, well, it doesn't matter if it has traffic though, right?
No, because you can target it. Like we could technically target the survey. It's that we'd have to pay for it though. But even SurveyMonkey offers that. Like I was playing around with some of the controls to see like, could they send this out? And it lets me like put in zip codes or different demographics on the back end, and it could go from them too. We would just have to pay for it.
How much?
Oh, SurveyMonkey sends it out. How would it go? I don't know, how would it go to people?
I'm guessing through social media and things too, because it asked me that. Like there's a whole board of like I can pick race, education, neighborhood, census, track. Yeah, so I don't know how they get it out there, but being that I don't know if it's phone or social media or emails, but you can select up to a certain amount of responses you're looking for. So Larry, I heard you say how much is it? It could be $1 per response or $3 per response. It just depends on how sophisticated I get with like how specific we want to target. Yeah, that's the SurveyMonkey end, but we should, I mean, if we have a Facebook account.
It sounds like it would be cheaper in Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nasim did look at some stuff and it sounds like it would be cheaper.
Could we, so we've sent to Albany, can we send to City of Albany like councilmen to see if they'll send it out too? Because I seen like Mayor Sheehan, for instance, her page had the redistricting, they promoted it. Could the City of Albany potentially help us too?
Yeah, who would be the contact there to go through?
Don't they have
Yes.
do they have a clerk of the council or a secretary of the council? There has to be.
It has to, yeah.
I'm not that familiar.
This is Jeff. I'm going to have to leave now, but Marissa will remain on the call.
Okay, before you go, Professor Weiss.
Yes.
There was an email that Warren Hamilton sent on Friday at
I have
3:54.
that.
Okay, there were some things I would ask if you could respond to us too, in terms of some of the statements that he made. I
Could
can
you send
send,
me, yeah, please send me an
I'll give you
email.
the numbers of the ones, yes.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll write them
I'll
down
do that.
quickly.
Okay,
I'm ready.
oh, number 3,
Mm-hmm.
number 4,
Okay,
number 5.
okay,
You can look at number 6, but that's okay. Number 6,
okay,
number 7,
okay,
I'm sorry, number 8,
okay,
number 9,
okay,
number 10,
okay,
13,
okay,
14. Basically, they were
Okay.
questions about the MD,
Okay,
15
great.
and 16. Yeah.
15 and 16. Okay, I'll take
Yes.
a look at all of those.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks very much. Okay,
Bye-bye. Have a good
Bye.
holiday
okay,
weekend.
thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
So long.
You're muted.
Yeah, it's like I had to try to find a quiet place and there really is none. And where I'm at, there's a wedding.
Ah.
So periodically a large group like walks by.
Mhm.
So I have to mute.
You're not alone this morning and trying to find a quiet place.
Yeah, I was saying everybody probably hasn't had a chance to see Warren's email yet.
No.
I saw it.
No.
A very lengthy, detailed, rambling in some ways message.
Yeah, I responded. The last email was about mapping meetings being more transparent, and I asked
Yes.
what he meant by that, because our meetings are transparent every Wednesday. So I was a little confused. Like, I read it and then I was like, wait a minute, our meetings are every Wednesday and they're on YouTube Live. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I was, yeah. So I did respond after a while because I was like,
Plus, when
They haven't been to any of our
plus
meetings.
when Nasim sends out the meeting notices
Mhm.
and agenda, he sends it to MMD redistricting, so they all get it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So they haven't attended our meetings.
Okay.
So, and then the report, we still need to put together the report. So I know, the introduction, I did an introduction. I think I did another part. I know the introduction, Jeff looked at it and they provided some comments, which looked pretty good. I don't know if I shared that with everybody yet, so I'll try to share that today before I go to the wedding.
Okay.
Are there any parts that still need support writing or?
Yeah, the only things I've received are from you and Marie. I've started doing my summary of the community engagement events that I attended.
Mhm.
Yeah, but the only things I've received are from you and Marie.
I'm working on mine. It turned
Okay.
out to be a little more detailed than I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
Oh.
taking me a little longer.
So Connie, when do you think you'll have that by? At least a rough draft of it.
Maybe by midweek.
Midweek, so that's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And are all sections accounted for? Like, are there any sections that don't have anyone to write?
Yes.
Well, we're gonna have to have a section on community needs,
Mhm.
the racial equity analysis, and some of the other law stuff Jeff was working on, and
Yes.
what they sent me, some of that is addressed. Probably I could pull up the outline that's on
Okay.
SharePoint. Can everybody see it?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think the introduction and the background, we're gonna be okay.
Mhm.
Community engagement, right now, we have nothing relative to that.
Meetings held.
Okay, I can do that.
Well, that's,
The
is that
mapping
because,
process, I spoke to Ockbridge, we had a conversation. And so
Uh-huh.
they're putting stuff together relative to that.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, gosh.
this voting analysis, that's gonna be Jeffrey Weiss and Dr. Hanley.
Mhm.
Community needs, this is really flowing from the survey or any conversations that we might have had.
I can do that one.
Okay, that'll be good. And then lessons learned, pretty much that's done. I have a couple of additions that I'm gonna add to it. And
Is this a new chart right here? Is this a new outline?
That's the one we did, was it week before last? Week before
Okay, I
last or
picked up
last
the
week?
wrong one.
yeah, Don, I don't know if it's exactly as you were revising it when we were in that meeting. So there might be some other stuff that you added that's not on here. So you should check it.
Community engagement.
No, that
Yeah,
looks
I don't
like,
have
that
that.
looks like what we added as a result of the conversation
Mhm.
that Saturday. Lessons learned can, if we have, I mean, I have some things in terms of lessons learned. I've
Anybody
looked,
has anything and y'all can send it to me, then I'll
okay,
incorporate it and I'll work on the conclusion part of it. When
okay.
we have more of it put together.
Marie, can you scroll back up to community engagement strategy? Let me see.
So I could actually do public hearings.
All right, meetings held, advertisement.
Okay, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 bullets. Something in here. Feedback, number of attendees, materials. Okay, I need to print this out because I don't have advertising and media outreach on mine.
So I think you're focused on C and D, but I could do A and B.
Oh, wait. So I've already started on some of this. Okay.
But did you do A and B?
I've done A and meetings held, and I'm working on materials presented.
So you're talking about you're doing
B is
3A and
specifically
B.
about the public hearings.
Huh?
B relates specifically to public
Right.
hearings.
Right. So that's why I already started on this.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, so
I started on C, community
Right.
engagement forums.
We talked about that the other week, and
Mhm.
we all attended various community engagement forums.
Uh-huh.
And so we all didn't attend the same ones. There's some
Right.
where multiple, individuals were there, but we
Mhm.
all didn't necessarily do the same ones. So everyone was supposed to write about the ones that they attended.
Right.
And send that to you.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, but we need this stuff sooner than later.
absolutely.
This needs to
Absolutely.
be a priority.
I'll finish mine up
It
today.
doesn't have, it doesn't have to be like perfect, but whatever everybody's working on, we need it.
Right. And if you talk about
All of it is gonna have to be edited.
right. But if you're talking about the community engagement forums that you attended, it's, when it was, where it was, who attended, any comments, feedback, that kind of thing. I think, Marie, can you scroll down a little, please? Down to the community engagement, back up a little. Okay, those little bullets are kind of to help you see the kind of information that should be included for each of the community engagement events that you attended.
There's other stuff as well, because I know,
Yeah, community
that
events.
Larry,
Right.
and Adrian did a lot
Yeah.
in terms of handing out flyers and stuff
Right.
like that, and none of
Right.
that is so there's other stuff as well.
Well,
Mhm.
that could also go up under,
Materials presented.
The outreach.
yeah.
I just say it to make sure that
Mm.
everybody considers all the activities that they were engaged in,
Right.
even if it's not showing on this
Mhm.
outlook.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, anything anybody wants to add on that? So I don't have anything else. Does anybody have anything else that we need to talk about?
No.
No.
I'm
I
good.
see your comment in the chat section. That's a good point, because they have not attended our meetings. And that would probably have addressed some of Warren's questions.
Okay, I don't have anything else. So if nobody
Oh,
else,
just so you know, after the meeting on Thursday, Carolyn McLaughlin came in and wanted to make her comments, but and Larry told her that she would be able to make written comments.
Right.
So I don't know whether she's going to do that or not.
So, the people that talk to her, you should probably try to provide like a summary of what she talked about. Like, even if it's just bullets in an email of what her concerns were. We should have some record of it.
It was mostly, and I think even just feedback, and maybe this will go into lesson learned too, is whenever we release a map, like we should put more, like maybe a summary or something that goes with almost like in PowerPoint, like how we got to this map, like how the data, what data we looked at. It seemed like it was repetitive. A lot of people just don't understand how we arrived at the numbers. So I feel like it was echoing a lot of information that was shared through the testimonies on
Can you get down and
on
wait until I
Zoom.
give up the
But
phone?
I think we could definitely for lessons learned, like, because when I looked back at the website, I thought that to myself too, like, oh wait, if I didn't understand this process, like how people got to like the data and all that, like even the question that legislator Willingham had in terms of is it 2020 census or 2010, it's in our stuff, but it's like it's on the website, it's not all in the same place. So I have a lot to add to lessons learned too, but I would say that was a lot of the questions we were answering was we went to the map and then had a conversation around how we arrived at certain data, the voting conversation of how Hispanics and Black vote in our respective regions too. But a lot of lessons learned, I feel like, in terms of like how we put out the maps, but it's not MMD specific, I would say at large, how much information we can put out to just help people understand maybe per map versus the broad overview, because it can get confusing by map. So
Okay, so those lessons learned additions, please send them to me as soon as possible. I'll incorporate them and send the document back out to everybody.
Okay.
I don't have anything else, so I think we can adjourn. Does anyone?
I move that the meeting be adjourned.
I second.
Oh,
Who second?
Kashana.
Oh, okay. It's been properly moved in second that this meeting be adjourned. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The meeting is adjourned.
Enjoy your wedding.
Enjoy the rest of the day. The